Hey friends, welcome back to my little mini series on emergency preparedness. In part 2, we're going to talk about food and water. One thing I like to do to stay prepared is, one, we always have bottles of water. Every single time we go to Sam's Club, which is usually a couple times a month, we will pick up a few cases of water. And that way we always have some on rotation. We can drink it throughout the week. My husband has to take it for work. And we just rotate our water bottle stock. But another thing that's handy is 5-gallon bottles of water. They also have 3-gallon bottles of water and 1-gallon bottles of water. We have 4 5-gallon jugs that we keep on hand. And we have use them I don't know how many times over the past years. We just keep reusing them. I'm sure at some point we'll get new ones, but these are fine for now. they work just fine for us. We refill them, and you can use tap water, or you can go to those little ice and water machines, and I think you can fill up for, I think it's like 25 cents or 50 cents a gallon. But we use those so often when we travel, when we road trip, when we go to the beach, when we go camping, because some places don't have water. So we refill all of our jugs. Depending on how long we're gone, will determine how much water we bring with us. And if we're going to have access to water while we're gone, plays another role in that. So if we're going to go to the beach for like 2 days, we'll bring at least a case of water plus a jug or two of the 5-gallon jug. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we'll bring 2 of those jugs. And not only are they good for drinking, but you can rinse off, you can shower, you can wash your hands, you can wash your dishes. It's just very handy. So we keep those jugs on hand. We keep our rechargeable pump charged as often as we can because we use it pretty often. Even here at the house, I'll fill it sometimes just for refilling our coffee pot, and that way I don't have to use bottles of water. So besides water, you're going to need food. Food's very important. Water's most important, but food is very important. So what I do throughout the year, throughout every grocery trip, is I always check my pantry before I go grocery shopping. And I'll check to see if I need anything, and I'll see what's on sale, and I just kind of make all my choices based on those decisions. Hey, is it bad weather coming up? Hey, are we traveling soon? Hey, are these items on sale? Are these items that we actually eat? Don't buy stuff just because it's canned if you're not going to eat it. Like, if your family doesn't like corn, don't buy corn. Buy potatoes or carrots or whatever it is that y'all use. The main foods that we try to stock our pantry with are canned meats, canned vegetables, and again, only what you're going to use. Don't buy canned pork if you don't eat pork. Vegetables, parboiled rice, and instant potatoes. I know some of you are going to be like, I don't like that. But it will save you so much time, so much propane, and so much water if you're in an emergency situation. Instead of having to boil your rice for 20 minutes, you can boil it for a minute or two. You know, you can bring your water up to temperature, put the items in there, and just let it set for 5 to 10 minutes before you eat it. You'll save so much propane, I promise you. Another thing is you can buy really hardy fruits and vegetables. So I'm talking apples. Apples and oranges you can keep out on your table for a week at least, and you know that they're still going to be fine. Another is potatoes, onions, carrots, cauliflower, cabbage. I mean, some of those you want to be cold, but they're going to be fine for like a week sitting out, and they'll last. So you have your food, you have your water. How are you going to cook it? Our house has an electric stove. We have a microwave, but all that's electric. So you're going to need a Coleman stove or something similar. We use a Coleman 2-burner stove. Now, if you use this, you're going to have to use this in a ventilated area. So like go in your garage, open the garage door and cook. Cook on your front porch, your back porch, whatever. Don't cook inside your house with the windows and the door shut. It's not safe because it is propane gas. This is actually the tanks that you use. They are 1 pound tanks and they hold propane gas, and they're made for those little stoves and other little things like that. It even says on here, do not refill. So these are one-time use only. But you get a few cooks out of it. Like you can take it on and off. It has this little lid on it and you just push it on. It's real easy to use. And your Coleman stove can even fit an adapter to hold a bigger propane canister. But you'll have to go to the hardware store or like Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, something like that, and get that part. It does not come with it. It comes with the standard converter to hold this, and it's really easy to. We prefer the 2 burner, but they also have a 1 burner. But the 2 burner is nice because you could put 2 pots on there. You could cook 2 things at one time. Like if we're making tacos, I could heat up the tortillas and cook, the taco filling at the same time. So like one time we were camping, I made coffee on 1 burner and I made our breakfast tacos on the other burner. And we find that very handy. It's real thin. It's not even 6 inches thick. I want to say folded down, it's 3 or 4 inches to lay flat. Maybe 25, 26 inches long. Because I know it can hold a 12-inch and a 10-inch pan at the same time, I believe. The other thing is chafing sterno flames. Those can be very helpful. I know when our, 2021, in February, we had that really bad ice storm. There was a bunch of people who were using the sterno flames to heat their food up. Depending on which size you buy, they can last between 2 and 6 hours. So I think it would be plenty to like cook a meal. I mean, it's going to be harder because it's tiny, but I'm going to say it's very doable. If you had a small pot and you're just heating up a can of soup or something, like it'll be fine. We get ours at Sam's Club. I purchased it and I have not had to use it yet. So I can't give you like a full recommendation. But when I bought mine, I bought it at Sam's because it came in a 12-pack and we have a Sam's membership and I was there and it was there and I got it. And now it sits in our emergency preparedness area of the house. So I can't really give a full recommendation, but I do think that they would be very helpful. And lastly, I have a little recipe. It's salt preserved herbs. And this is something that I learned how to do in the middle of the COVID pandemic because half the time we couldn't get to the grocery store, or the grocery store was super inconvenient because it was only so many people at certain times and you had to wait outside and it just wasn't, y'all remember, don't you? And then you would get in line and you would go in the store and half of what you needed wasn't there. So I looked up how to preserve herbs because we weren't getting to go to the stores often. So on my YouTube, there is a recipe for salt preserved herbs, and it is fan-freaking-tastically delicious. And it is a good way for you to keep your herbs in your fridge for a couple months, and it won't go bad. Promise you it won't. I've had some in my fridge for over a year and still used them, and they were still delicious. Anyway, that is part 2. If you are liking this series, hang on because I still have more to come. Thanks for being here. Bye.